These are 10 things you wish you would have known before you started your YouTube channel. I'm Carolyn and I run a YouTube channel that has 250,000 subscribers, a team of 3, and makes 6 figures a year. I wish I would have known how much work actually goes in before you not only make a video, but make your whole channel. When I first started YouTube, my whole experience was just based on watching YouTube. The longer I've been on YouTube, and when I finally actually reached out to people who knew how to make sustainable business off of YouTube, I learned how much actual planning and research goes into setting up a channel for success. It's kind of a catch-22 because it's like you have 2 different personas. On camera, you're the friend, you're the entertainer, you're there for fun, you're the magician. But behind the scenes, you're the marketer, you're the administrator, you're the analyst, the magician figuring out how to do things in a way that it looks like magic to the audience, but really it's just a trick of the hand. On YouTube, my main channel is all about motorcycles. So we go on road trips, we do bike reviews, we do some educational stuff, but what's not shown behind the scenes is all the research that goes into selecting a road trip location, selecting a specific motorcycle to make sure it has a wide reach, and also seeing what's performing on the platform in our niche or similar videos, kind of similar industry like the automotive or plane content I might look at, and see what kind of video structures, the titles, the thumbnails, all those things severely affect the performance of each individual video and of course the whole channel. In my videos, I just want people to feel like they're coming with me, like a friend joining me on a road trip. I want them to feel like they got some really great tips for handling their big bike. I want them to discover a cool new motorcycle they didn't know about before. But I don't want them to know that I'm inserting primal branding elements throughout the video to make sure that they are investing in the people on the camera. And I'm not going to advertise on there that, oh, I picked this motorcycle because it's the most popular Honda of all time and it has the widest reaching audience. I'm not going to tell them that. I'm going to say I picked this motorcycle because it is so cute and tiny and it's probably what your grandpa has in his garage or grew up riding. That's the story I want to share. So it's like having 2 different sides, and it can be so easy, especially when starting out, to accidentally blend the 2 because you're really so passionate about both sides. But it's kind of like you have one friend that you love to work out with and eat healthy food with and go hiking with, and you have another friend that doesn't like any of that stuff and has been in your life a really long time, and maybe you wouldn't be friends with if you had met today, but y'all been friends for so long, since you were kids, and you've been through so much together, so you're still friends. Even if that friend doesn't have the same goals as you, they're still gonna be there for you. So you don't talk about your new workout routine, how you're upping your protein with them. Instead, you talk about your relationships or how you're feeling or the fight you had with your sister. Another thing I wish I was prepared for is the trolls. So just like we've got some haters and trolls in real life, oh, the internet will bring a lot. And you'd be surprised how many peaceful, calm channels that seem like they would make nobody upset somehow still brings out trolls. I mean, if you meet 100 people, how many of those people do you think may judge you or think something weird about you or dislike you or maybe even just strongly hate you, even if you don't say anything to them? Okay, well, what if you increase that number to 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people? What about a whole soccer stadium that can fit about 40 to 70,000 people? There's gonna be some people that just hate your guts just because you walk into the room and walk out. And especially even more so if you say at least 3 words. So, I mean, that's YouTube. It's a lot of people watching you. I have found too that usually people unfamiliar with YouTube really harshly judge what you're doing on YouTube. But I find that those who are successful with it, people who are successful at what they're doing, don't seem to be the ones hating on somebody that's trying or learning or making an attempt. It's usually the ones who haven't accomplished something themselves yet. especially not accomplish something in the same area that you are striving for. Another thing I wish I knew is how negative some people can be. You might be so excited that you're doing something new for yourself. You finally are creating a YouTube channel you've been wanting to for so long. And you may have friends and family that are not excited for you. I kind of expected that some particular family members not be happy for me, but would instead just make fun of it. And that's exactly what happened. I had a couple family members taking screenshots of the things I was doing on my channels and just exchanging it and making fun of it. I don't know if they do that anymore now that it's become my business, but especially in the beginning when I was starting out, I really didn't want people to know about it because of that, and it does happen. I became pretty quick to block people, even family. I had one family member that I didn't even know was watching until she referenced some of the comments people would say in anger. My platforms are not here for the haters, online or in real life, to use as fodder for insults. So I blocked them, family or not, from whatever platforms I could, because on some of the public platforms like YouTube, you can't block people from seeing, but you can block them from commenting. Facebook and Instagram, you can block people from seeing. It's pretty easy for them to just create another account if they're that determined to obsess over and look over your stuff. So I ended up just focusing more on family and friends that were super supportive. Sure, you can't always avoid everyone that you want to avoid, although that'd be great. But I found myself just getting closer to my siblings that were my big fans, or my husband who's my #1 fan. The people who are excited for you when you're excited, those are the people who you want to be around anyways. I have no shame in just distancing myself from negative people online or in real life. Those who really care about you will support what you decide to do and the boundaries you set for yourself. Anyone who thinks you are being rude for setting your own boundaries is probably not someone whose opinion is very important anyways. Another thing that can be so easy to forget is that every click and every view is a person. So this is why it's so important to avoid clickbait. I think we can get so into the numbers and performance of things, especially in the short term when we just posted something and we're looking at how it's doing. And people use this, I would say, incorrectly. Clickbait, meaning something's false, not what it is misleading. It doesn't deliver on what's actually in the video or the piece of the content. If you can think first about the person and how they feel when they click on a video and how they watch and how especially they're gonna feel when they finish a video, I find that in the long run, those expectations and that feeling of like satisfaction that isn't necessarily always in a metric in YouTube analytics, those are the channels that really go the long haul and really go wide and build a hardcore audience. And anytime they want to add something or grow something or build something, their audience is just there rooting for them. So, but not only that, it's also important of how other brands will see you and other YouTubers. As long as you leave your house or you want to do some kind of YouTube related events, you're gonna run into people in your niche or just other YouTubers. And especially in a niche, we're all seeing each other's content if you are doing your YouTube research well. And when I found that the YouTubers who really push the clickbait or who really push the negative storytelling, a lot of other YouTubers and brands don't want to work with them. So they may find that they're just not lucky consistently. When I really started thinking about how are people gonna feel when they watch my videos, or even just going after like strong desires that I had, so I knew my audience might have too, I noticed a shift in the comment section and also how brands interacted with me. I started out focusing a lot on hair and makeup and just looking cute, and the comment section really reflected that. I mean, it's already male dominated, and people were talking to me more like as if I had put up a dating profile. And I realized that was not my goal, so I shifted and I just presented myself pretty much like this. Usually no earrings when I'm riding bikes. But when I started doing that, when I started just showing up the way I would for a friend, not doing my YouTube makeup look, then the comment section started talking to me like a friend as well. And brands were approaching me in a more respectful way, and other YouTubers as well. And I was surprised to see some YouTubers want to work with me because I thought they were either bigger or further along or more accomplished. And I don't know that would have happened if I hadn't been paying attention to how I was presenting myself. And also just remember that your family is also going to see this. I once came in the room and my nephew was on an iPad watching one of my videos. My videos are not made for kids, but seeing that, he was 8 years old at the time, seeing that, and the fact that I have a lot of people in the comment section say, oh, I sent this to my daughter or my younger son, and I love your content because it's family friendly, we can all watch it together. So just keep that in mind, is if your mother or your niece and nephew watch this, how are you gonna feel about what you're doing? Because it's out there and your family watches whether you show them your stuff or not. Some people, they'll find it. Another thing I wish I would have known earlier was it really becomes what you make of it. If you treat YouTube like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a job, it will pay you like a job. If you treat it like a business, it will become a business. And the thing about how to do each one of those things, especially if you've never created your own job or created your own business, that's why it's so important to find people who have done it and learn from them. I treated my YouTube channel like a hobby for several years, and it paid like a hobby. I loved the idea of maybe it becoming a job or a business, but I didn't know how to do that. I had no experience how to do that. I'd never done it before. So I really didn't know what I didn't know. So I just kept doing the same thing over and over again. And eventually I found a YouTube coach that has built massive businesses off of many large and successful YouTube channels. And it wasn't until I learned from him how to do that my channel started to become a business as well. Some people have an advantage coming into YouTube, and I actually wouldn't even say existing technical skills, because YouTube can be so forgiving, so much raw content does really well. Just totally filmed on an iPhone. Ideally, your sound is not atrocious, but something filmed on an old GoPro or iPhones, like it's crazy how far some of that content will go. And I've definitely seen people with marketing background already being comfortable talking on camera, or just a really good storyteller, or just someone that's really engaging to talk. Those people can often do so well and go so much further, so much faster. You can always learn as you go, and you can always make up for what you don't have in one area in another area. Since I'm in the automotive space, most of my audience are older men. And so many times I was like, I wish I was an older man too, because I could be relatable to my audience. So I figured, okay, if I don't have the power of relatability, then what can I have instead? What can be my angle? And I'd already experienced what it's like to be pushing just being a woman. So I didn't really want to do that because I didn't want comments and emails acting like my YouTube channel was a dating site. So instead, I just started pushing my struggles and overcoming those struggles and just trying to inspire people and talking to the camera like I would a friend, like I would a big brother, like I would an uncle. And now I feel like me, however I am, has been a strong suit. Not having necessarily that power of relatability, but I've had so many guys tell me in person how I feel like I'm their little sister. Or some of the older ones say they feel like I'm their daughter or granddaughter. So don't be upset if you don't have what someone else has, because what you have, someone else may be wishing that they had. And you'd be surprised what experience can carry over. So I used to be a product designer. So I used to design home and holiday decor en masse for large companies. I did it all in one company, but they would sell it for large companies. And we could see the stats of all of our design. We could see how much was selling and for how much and all of that. So I started looking up designs based off of bestsellers and expanding on those. And anytime I did that, those designs sold so much better than ones I just kind of wung it. And I found that that's actually a really similar process with videos. at least that thing I think transferred over. But I definitely had to learn a lot. I knew nothing about editing, nothing about technical stuff as far as microphones, cameras. This is being filmed on an iPhone, and I still use this iPhone on my main channel where I have 250,000 subscribers. I didn't know anything about YouTube analytics, nothing about primal branding, nothing about doing research for how to make sure videos perform. Even though I did a similar process in product design, I learned later, oh, I can apply that to videos too. Shout out to my YouTube coach. So I learned so much, and I'm still learning so much all the time, and I still feel like there is so much I don't know and haven't scratched the surface of yet. And not just for YouTube, but also business building and managing the finances of the channel and the business and paying taxes. You know, I pay like $1,500 in taxes every month. I did not know I'd have to do that. So it's a lot that I'm learning all the time. Oh, and I would say the catch-22 is kind of remember who you're talking to. Yeah, this side of business things, it's so addicting as well. But everything I'm telling you here in this video, I don't really touch on my main channel, like, at all. I'm not gonna say in the video, okay, so now I'm gonna implement primal branding and tell you my creation story and tell you why I started writing. No, I just made a video called Why I Started Writing while I was cleaning my motorcycle, sitting outside of my driveway, and that was my first video to get tens of thousands of views, when before that they'd only gotten a few thousand. But that's all it was. I didn't say, hey, I'm implementing primal branding. I just talked. Another thing I wish I would have known is that done is better than perfect. Actually, what I'm talking about, I wish I would have known. That's like basically every single one of my videos. Oh, and especially before I got editors who actually have proper knowledge. But even still, I might send them some clips that have rough audio or the cropping isn't good, and I'm like, you know what, we gotta post this tomorrow, or this has to be done like ASAP. I ain't got time to refilm this. They just gonna have to work with what they got. If I had waited until my videos were perfect before I started posting on YouTube, I don't think I would have a single video up. And right now I have probably about 400 videos up. I've been doing this for 6 years, and there's still so much every time I post a video that I wish I could have done instead, or I wish I had more time, or I wish. So many times when I just post it, nobody says, hey, that cropping's weird. Hey, that mic would be better if it was the $800 Yeti versus the $200 Yeti mic. So just post. I'd say that posting consistently is better than trying to create the perfect video to some respects. And consistent can be different. Some people say you need to post once a week or you need to post multiple times a week, but I think consistency is really about how can you be consistent without burning out and still enjoying the process. Like one channel I watch, Jake Carlini, he posts every other week. Cleo Abrams and Michelle Carre, another channels I love, they only post about once a month. And actually come to think of it, they're pretty inconsistent about when they post too, I think. But as long as you just keep doing it, your audience will see a cadence. And sure, if you can post more, that's great. It's better to keep posting every other week or once a month for a year than to post 3 videos a week for 2 months and then you get burnt out and you don't touch YouTube again for 6 months and then stay on that cadence. That's not ideal. One of the best tips I could give is how much faster you can grow if you niche down, especially in the beginning. But actually, even now, 6 years later on my main channel, I don't really go outside of motorcycles. I see that when other channels do go outside, say if they start implementing cars or planes or even sometimes 3-wheeled motorcycles, that content doesn't do as well. Even if it's content that will do well on a car channel, putting it on a motorcycle channel, it might tank. So I just recently turned down a brand deal with Slingshot because of this. The Polaris Slingshots, they've done some stuff with motorcycle channels and they do pretty well as far as views goes on car channels though, I noticed. And all the ones on motorcycle channels are not so good. The more you can niche down, the better. And whatever you do, please do not do sub for sub or buy subscribers or none of that crap or fight for shout outs. Because remember, every view is a person, every subscriber is an individual person. And if you bought those subscribers and views to just be bots, then you may have an inflated subscriber count, but then once you stop paying for that service, what are your views looking like? Are those views like tanked? And when you sell a product for a sponsorship or your own product, those bots aren't gonna buy what you're selling. And the sponsors are gonna be like, this was the worst conversion we ever saw. We thought your numbers were, what's going on here? And they gonna drop you. And the sub for sub things, the asking for shout outs, remember, these are people. Like, why fight for people to just click a button and they don't even care about your content? So then when your video comes out, they're not gonna watch it. That's not a good signal for YouTube. Organic growth is the best growth because that's gonna be loyal people watching your videos. And that's the most important thing. You might be surprised that SEO doesn't matter as much as you think. I know some channels that, I think Film Booth is one of them, who said that in a live stream that he doesn't even put keyword tags for his video description, and his videos do great. The algorithm is so smart that it knows what your video is about and can even populate suggested tags for you as your video is uploading. And even just pictures. You can upload, I think it's Google Cloud Vision, where you can upload even just a thumbnail and it'll recognize it. It can recognize famous celebrities, it can recognize them by name, it can recognize even a black hole. It can, these computers are smart. They're real smart. And now for a bonus for you is that it is so addicting. Like, if you get into it, if you create your YouTube channel, if you finally do it, and not just that, if you really put the effort in that it takes to learn and do well at it, it will change your whole life. Like, all my life, I thought I wanted to be a children's book illustrator. I also thought I maybe wanted to be a vet or a firefighter or some other things, but children's book illustrator was the running theme. I went to art school. I decided I didn't want to be a children's book illustrator after working for one and seeing what kind of that life looked like. But I was still drawing for a living. I was designing home and holiday decor. And I did that for 8 years. And when I started doing YouTube on the side, it just took over. And now for the past 6 years, YouTube has been it became my job, and now it's a business, and I don't see any end in sight. Like, I just want to keep doing this. I love it so much. And if I ever change on YouTube, it'll be maybe starting a new channel, a different niche, or working on the back end, or just doing something else, but still being in the world of YouTube. Congratulations, by watching this video, you're basically already years ahead of the curve when I first started my YouTube channel. So if you want to know how to build your income streams on YouTube, here are my income streams. I'll show you how I make money off of YouTube in this video over here.